have this right here with us, the pointers that we're expecting that are to be discussed between the two sides. The first one being the review progress on announcements of the consulates in Ahmedabad and Bengaluru and the mission in Seattle. Then the fast-tracking GE jet engine deal that was announced in June. Since last week, US Congress approved the deal between the General Electric and Hindustan Aeronautics Limited for manufacturing the GE F414 jet engines since India signed Artemis Accord. Now, leaders likely to talk on the enhancing commercial collaboration between private sectors of both the countries in space cooperation. Both countries have already signed on the MOU for cooperation in semiconductor supply chain and innovation partnership. Leaders are likely also to review the progress of that, and there are relaxations in the visa norms that Prime Minister Modi had announced while he was addressing the Indian diaspora back in the US during his visit, an academic program for students. And leaders in June noted talks between the Nuclear Power Corporation of India NPCIL and the Westinghouse Electric Company WEC for the construction of 6 nuclear reactors in India. This time around, the report suggests that leaders could seal that deal as consultations, and these are in the last stage now. And announcements are also over the General Atomics comprehensively global MRO facility in India, as India has already announced procuring drones from General Atomics. So these are the points that we are looking at as we speak of the agenda for bilateral talks with Prime Minister Modi. Siddhant, I will come back to you, as we were just having the discussion and you were throwing more light upon what all might be on the agenda for the bilateral talks. Now, we've already mentioned about the fast tracking of the GE jet engines, the review progress and announcements of consulates. I will come to you now with in regards to the countries having signed an MOU for cooperation in semiconductor supply chain and innovation partnership. That was also one of the key agendas when Prime Minister Modi was visiting the US, and it seems like the leaders are likely to review its progress. What do we learn about that?
Well, absolutely. So there were a lot of big tickets announcement, and perhaps in the month of June, we saw United States and India coming closer and, deepening ties with more understanding, mutual respect for each other. And in fact, there were collaborations in some key sectors, including semiconductor, also sectors like space. Now, space is going to be, we have been told that space is going to be one sector which both leaders are likely to discuss today, especially the participation of private companies in United States and here in India. Their collaboration can be discussed, given India has sent successful moon mission last month only. Also, India has already signed Artemis Accord, which is mandatory for any nation to collaborate with American Space Agency, or perhaps to look for American investment in the space sector. So Artemis Accord has already been signed by India. So that can also be discussed, or perhaps can likely come up for the discussion when both leaders will sit tonight for the bilateral meeting. So as I was highlighting, there has lot been announced in the month of June, from procurement of drones to building jet engines here in India, and perhaps also to get the MRO facility for the drones that India is going to procure here in India. So that is something which can be announced. Then the consulates in Ahmedabad and Bengaluru. Then obviously the nuclear reactors, the last stage consultation were going on perhaps a few days back. So we can also expect some sort of an announcement, or perhaps fast tracking of these negotiations that we can look for. Also, interestingly, I would like to highlight here that usually during the bilateral events or summits, host country avoids state visits or perhaps the bilateral engagements. But India has made exception for two countries. One is United States of America and the other is Saudi Arabia. So Prime Minister Modi is going to have bilateral engagements with President Biden and also with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. So these two leaders have been given exception by India, and both these leaders are going to be on their state visit and will have bilateral engagements and will hold a bilateral meetings with Prime Minister Modi. So for today, all eyes are going to be on President Biden and Prime Minister Modi's meeting, which is scheduled to take place late in the evening at around 8:20, right after President Biden is going to arrive in the national capital.